everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month, the month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about Rock. Season 1, Episode 1, The Pilot. Rock was a really funny, good black comedy that came out in 1991 and ended in 1994. It lasted for 3 seasons. However, in the 3rd season, it started to decline viewership and had low ratings and eventually got canceled. This made a lot of people speculate as to why it got canceled. It was a huge show, but then when Rock got canceled, people started to notice something. A lot of black comedies on Fox started to get canceled as well. Shows like In Living Color and other shows. And so this caused people to be in outrage, which caused Fox to create the show New York Undercover, one of the best crime dramas ever. And as we all know, Dick Wolf created New York Undercover, and he ruined it because he got salty and everything. And so back to Rock. So when Rock got canceled, people were just kind of like shocked and confused as to why it got canceled and stuff. Now, Rock was unique in a show that depicted black people not as being rich and not being super educated in the sense of like they're billionaires, like on say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And so Rock, ironically, he played a garbage man, which is ironic because he's the only character in TV that I know of to be a main or even recurring character that was a garbage man. Have you ever seen another show that where the main cast member or the lead star is a garbage man? I know I haven't. And so that's very unique in everything. Now, his wife was a nurse, and we've seen plenty of nurses, but I've never seen a main character be a garbage man before. And so, like, I remember the intro to season 1 had this, like, the thing about Rock was always a feel-good show. It felt very down to earth, and it felt very realistic. And so did the intro. The intro was just something unique and different. It had a good vibe to it. But then by season 2, the intro changed with En Vogue singing it, and then they had more flashier background and everything. More like a standard television show. And that standard television show was more along, or say like Martin, the intro looked like. Or Hanging with Mr. Cooper. During this like 2nd season run and stuff. So they started to try to like push that narrative, the appeal more to like that of a white audience with the new intro and stuff. And at some point in time with Rock, they had a traditional like sitcom format. But then all of a sudden they started doing live tapings and everything. And that's because all the 4 main stars were well known in theater. Personally, for me, I didn't like the transition to live filming. It just felt different and weird. Like, it just didn't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? I prefer that older school sitcom feel that they used to have and stuff. Now, Rock, he was played by Charles S. Dutton. And what's really interesting about him is that when he grew up, he was bad. That dude spent most of his entire youth in and out of jail. And from stabbings to like shootings to like you name it. And so one would think his life would have turned out bad as he got older, but no, the system corrected him. And when he got out, he got his GED, and then he started going to like what is it, acting school, and then he became a successful actor. That dude literally turned his life around. There's no telling how he would have turned out if he never did that. And that's why people have to like urge their young kids, especially young black kids, to stay off the streets. Like put these weapons down, leave those drugs alone, get away from the gangs, and just try to like educate yourself and try to like put yourself in programs that will help you further your life. It's hard because those programs are very expensive. And sadly, a lot of black kids aren't able to be in those programs because their parents sadly just cannot afford them. Now, his wife, she was played by Ella Joyce, and she played Eleanor in the show. She was a nurse. And, like, the thing about Rock, he's very stubborn, but he has his wife to keep him in check. Now, he has his brother Joey on the show, played by Rocky Carl. Or Carol. And so it's funny that his name is Rocky, but yet he's not playing the main character. Rocky is just your typical male chauvinist pig. He's a slacker. He's always getting in trouble money wise, and he's one of those type of characters on the show. And then last and sadly, we have the great Carl Gordon, who sadly passed away, and he played the father to both Joey and Rock, and he played Andrew. And one thing was funny about him was his sharp wit. Like that man was just funny, especially in this pilot episode. Now, the thing about Rock, a lot of people forget about Rock. To tell you the truth, I forgot about Rock, and I used to watch Rock. And the reason why I forgot about it is because, like, I just forgot about it because they don't ever talk about it, and it's not. And at that time, it wasn't on streaming. But when I was watching this YouTube video like a few nights ago about why New York Undercover got canceled and why it went through the changes that it did, they mentioned Rock being a show that got canceled that forced Fox to like create New York Undercover. And so I'm like, oh, I remember Rock and everything. And I had literally forgot about the show. It came out in the early 90s and stuff. And so, like I said, it was never on streaming until now. And it's because of fans. Like, you gotta give it up to the fans. They did not let this just completely die out. Now it's on Pluto. You can watch it for free. And you can also watch it on the Roku channel TV thing and also BET. But on BET, you gotta pay. But other than that, it's not on those other main streaming sites like Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, or HBO Max. For some reason, they don't want to bring those shows over. Even Disney Plus, for some bizarre reason, don't want to bring Rock over. And Rock was a show on Fox, and Disney now owns Fox. And it's quite a shame. And it's sad that a lot of these good shows get like canceled. And not only that, but it's even sadder that you don't find them on streaming. Like just last year, Rock was put on streaming. And you know what's ironic? Last year is also when all these other black comedy shows from the 90s all of a sudden started making their way to streaming sites. Moesha, Fresh Prince, Martin, Hang with Mr. Cooper, like you name it. All of a sudden, they all started popping up around the same time because fans started getting outraged. It's like, why do all these white comedies get to be on streaming sites, but none of the black ones and stuff? And not only black ones, but you don't even see like the other ones. Like there used to be the George Lopez show. I don't think that's on streaming. I don't think. Like you don't even hear people talk about that show no more. But yeah, but with Rock, the pilot episode. Now, Rock, since he's a garbage man, he brings stuff home that he finds people throwing out, which in my opinion is just gross. There are literally people in like my city that drive around like around 12 midnight to like 1 and 2 in the morning in people's neighborhoods looking for stuff they put out the night before the garbage day. That is disgusting, man. Like, people have touched that stuff. People have done stuff on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I hate germs. Like, I hate germs, you know? But anyway, so Rock, he's sitting down, he's watching TV, and he's watching The Simpsons. And his dad, Andrew, comes in. And his dad wants to watch a show that shall not be named right now. And so he's all like, well, I'm watching The Simpsons. I heard this show is really good. My first time watching it. As of then, his dad turns the channel to the other show I shall not name or ever talk about. And he's all like, son, now, I hate to have to break this to you. I've been keeping a secret from you all your life. Son, we're black. He's all, because his motto is, since he's black, we watch black TV shows, we listen to black music, and that's that. We don't watch like anything else. And so that's what the older generation's mentality is about and stuff. And so, and then when you look at that house, it's very decked out in the black stuff. You have Malcolm X on the wall. You have Martin Luther King. You have all these like African, like tribal looking stuff. And so that's why a lot of times when it comes to like the older generations of black people, it's just they prefer that people like just like older white people, they prefer people to stay in their lane, and because of all the stuff they went through. And it's not so much a race thing. See, for a lot of like white people, it's mostly like a race thing, but what black people is that they want them to only contribute their lives to like black culture because black culture gets put down. They want them to rise up and let and just like listen to more black music, more black TV shows, support black owned businesses, black hairstyles, black dances, you know, because they will get put down even to the day. Like there's this one actress who is white. She put down like a black dance move, I think like on TikTok, and she got some major backlash from that. And so, of course, she called her one black friend. And he told her, look, he told her, like, you made things worse when you made fun of it, then you double down on it, and then you start crying about it. And he said, never cry about it, 'cause that's that white girl technique that they use to, like, get out of stuff. They just start crying and everything. And they cry, and sometimes you don't know if they're sentimental or not because they always use that technique and stuff. And so, like, so she just like laid low, it blew over, and now people have like left her alone and all this other stuff. And it's sad because people do put down black owned stuff. Because I remember when I was hanging out with a friend of mine, she has two kids. She's white, and her kids are biracial black. And when we was in the store, she was shopping for like a friend of theirs who's also half black and half white, and they were looking for like Barbie dolls because they all have like a bunch of girls. And so when we were looking around in the store, the woman's all like, I don't see no black Barbie dolls anywhere. And I'm all like, no, they don't appear to have none. Just like get that one. She's like, well, I don't want a white one. I want to get the black one because the girls have black and everything. And I remember when I grew up, I remember they used to have this like these buddy dolls and stuff, and I wanted one. But I wanted the one I saw on TV, which of course was the white one and everything. I didn't even know they had Black Buddy doll. But of course, my mom got me like the Black Buddy doll. And I remember at first I was just like mad because I'm like, that's not what I see on TV. So, but then I learned to like love my Buddy doll like regardless and stuff. Man, I love Buddy. Like that's a toy you don't hear about no more and stuff. And so with the rest of this episode, after that, Rock. See, his dad lives with him because the mom died and stuff. And so Rock, he has a hard time standing up to his father. So he pretends to act out what he's going to tell his father to like an imaginary chair. Remember when Clint Eastwood, for some bizarre, crazy, stupid reason, decided to talk to a pretend Barack Obama on a chair? Think of it like that. So Rock is like telling his father off in this chair, like the imaginary father and stuff. And the wife comes in and she's like, oh, he got under your skin again. So then she starts talking to the chair and everything. But then he goes in there to get some pie in the kitchen. And then in comes his brother knocking on the door. His sister-in-law, Rock's wife, is happy to see him. And so like, she's like, oh, Rock would love to see y'all. Haven't saw each other in 5 years. And Rock sees him. He's like, hey, Joey. And she's like, that's all you got to say. He's like, hey, Joey, where my money at? So basically, Joey's like one of those swindler type people who owes some money, who ended up homeless, trying to like get a gig doing like music, this and that, but always falls on like hard times. And Rock is tired of like bailing him out and everything. So before I get into the rest of this episode, I wanted to point out that one thing about Rock that was really great is that they talked about black social issues, gangs, being put down, like all kind of segregation and stuff like that. And this came from like a sitcom of all things, you know. I remember one of the gangsters on there, I forgot his name in real life, but he played kind of like a youth pastor in Black Lightning in the first season. And then he was in the first Rush Hour movie as a small role. He was the cousin of the Chris Tucker character. And the gangster dude with the really nice suit, talking about, don't let me break Aunt Boosie's heart. And he's all like, she got a bad heart and stuff. Is that dude. And was he in the first or second movie? You know what? I don't even remember now. I know Don Cheadle was in one of the movies. And then the other dude, I think I don't know which one he was in. He was either in the first or the second one. Man, I totally forgot. I know Don Cheadle was in one. He played a black dude married to like an Asian woman. He had one of them Asian ponytails in a Chinese restaurant in Crenshaw. But I forgot if it was the second or the first movie. But you know who I'm talking about. The dude with the really nice suit. So back to the show. So Joey, he's homeless, like I said before, and he's begging Rock to like take him in. But Rock does it. He doesn't want to, but he does it. But he tells him straight up, you gotta pay some rent, this and that, find a job, and then you have to get out. So anyways, he asks Rock, you still working in the dockyard and everything. And Rock's like, no, I got myself a better job, a high-paying job. He's like, well, what are you working at? And he's all like, I'm a garbage man. And Joey's like, nah, for real, where you work at? Because you know how people put down garbage folks. Like they think they're like lower than fast food people and janitorial and stuff. And so Rock's all like, man, my job comes with perks. You see this refrigerator, you see this table, you see this lamp, you see this piano, then it cost me not 1 red cent. He's all like, I got it for free. Because people, of course, like I said before, they throw stuff out. And he takes what they throw out. I couldn't do that, man. I could not do that. I don't care how good you clean off. I don't want to do that. I don't like germs. I'm a germaphobe and everything. Now, I do back in the day. Back in the day, I used to buy used DVDs. I will not do that now, unless it's something I really, really want and I can't find and they no longer make it. But back then when I used to buy used DVDs, I never cleaned them off for some bizarre reason. It just didn't register in my head. Then when I became a germaphobe, I cleaned the crap out of those things. And even still to this day, I'm afraid to touch them. And if I do touch them, like I wash my hands afterwards and stuff. Because man, you don't know what you could pick up nowadays, especially now with the what going on and stuff. And so, like, I haven't bought, like, no used DVDs in forever. Now I just buy them whatever they're priced at, or I wait for they come down in price. But nowadays, man, they don't even make DVDs. Like, Rock still to this day has not come out on DVD. It's on streaming finally now, but it's still not on DVD. So anyways, Joey, he's not really thrilled by all the stuff or the perks that Rock has like brought home, especially the couch he has to sleep on. So Joey turns on the TV and the Simpsons are back on. And so Andrew comes down and he's all upset because when he sleeps, he doesn't want to be disturbed. But then when he sees Joey, now there's a double standard. Andrew loves Joey to death, but kind of can't stand Rock. He always puts Rock down, but he loves Joey. And so, like, he makes Rock get them, like, a drink. And when he asks Joey what are you watching on TV, he's like, The Simpsons. And then Andrew's all of a sudden like, oh, man, I heard that's a funny show. And all of a sudden, he loves The Simpsons, which annoys the crap out of the Rock. Well, not The Rock, but out of Rock. It's weird saying Rock without saying The Rock because of the wrestler dude. So, in this episode, we find out what Rock is saving up his money for, because we see Rock reading a newspaper and Joey wants to read it too, but find out that the newspaper is from the day before. See, Rock reads the newspaper from a day before because he gets some used. He doesn't buy new ones today because he doesn't have the money. And so he tells him that, he's looking to save up to buy the house that he's always wanted, that has like a wall that something about he can lean up against or something like that. I don't really understand that. But then I think but then Joey tells him, you know what? Your dream's going to get dashed because people are going to see the want-ads of your dream house and going to get it before you do, which Rock doesn't realize that. So anyway, Rock gets well, actually him and his dad get into like this argument about Larry Bird. His dad thinks Larry Bird is black, and Rock tells him that he's white. Because his father doesn't believe that no white man can play basketball and stuff. Like I said before, this is the 90s, and he is of an older generation. So anyways, Rock lets Joey know that it's Eleanor's birthday. He got her like a VCR thing, but he got her a used one that does not work. So his friend's gonna come by and fix it. Just like pretty much everything in his house is used and everything. It has to be fixed up. And so Joey, the swindler that he is, swindles money out of Rock, $20, and he says he's gonna give it buy Eleanor something, but he doesn't. He calls his bookie to bet on like a horse or something like that. And sadly, that's just who Joey is. Joey just doesn't learn, you know. So later that night, Rock and his dad are comparing gifts that they bought. His dad bought him a picture of, or bought the wife a picture of Malcolm X. And Rock tells his dad, you know, you always get her that every year and everything. And so Rock tells him about the VCR he got him, but it's only stuck and only plays in fast forward mode. And so Joey comes in with a brand new suit, and it's a nice suit. And so he won big at the horse races and stuff. And so he buys his dad like a silk robe, which really annoys Rock because he knows he can't afford to buy his dad that. And then he lets everybody know he bought Eleanor a brand new VCR. That's way better than the one that Rock found. But the thing is, the VCR is $500, but he got it for $75 because he got it from a guy who steals them. This pisses off Rock. And Rock feels ashamed that he gave his brother money and didn't do what he was supposed to. But his brother's all like, but I did. I just made more money of it. And so at some point in time, Ella comes down and she wants to know what the fussing's about because Rock has a huge temper. When he has his temper, he shouts big time. And he lets her know that, you know, his brother's trying to outdo him because he can't afford to buy something nice for his wife without getting it used. And Ross gets so upset and so angry, he takes his VCR and he smashes it. And he walks over to the wall talking like he feels just ashamed. Because see, the thing about Rock is a very prideful man. He knows people don't like his job, but he doesn't care because it puts food or money and food on the table, and it has like a roof over his house. So he's gonna hold his head up high no matter what. So then his brother goes and he's all like, you know what, man? If I would have known you would have acted like this, I would have never like bought this like VCR to try to compare with you and stuff or compete with you. So he takes it and he smashes the VCR. So then the dad is all like, well, I don't want to be left out. So he breaks the Malcolm X picture. But then this happens. The wife comes down and she's upset, of course, because it's her birthday and it just got ruined by 3 idiotic men and stuff. And so she tells Joey, if you ever gonna break anything, it better be your own stuff and not something you give to somebody else. Then she tells her dad that, you know, Malcolm X, he fought for the lives of black men and women, and she's tired of having all her walls with his picture on it. And then she tells Rock that she wants one gift from him that's not used and that he didn't find, and that like she appreciates what he does for her, and she loves the fact that he has like pride in his life and for his job and all this appreciation and stuff. And then with a sad like tone in her voice, she goes to like her job and everything. And you know, and it's like, because her birthday literally just got ruined because like one, she got a bunch of gifts she didn't want, and then the ones that she did want, they got smashed. And it's like this 3 men fussing and fighting over like male pride and stuff like that. So when Eleanor comes home from work, she sees that Rock is still up because he didn't sleep that night. And so she works the night shift, right? And he tells her he went down to the bar with his dad and brother, try to get some ideas for her birthday because she felt she was, because, you know, he wanted to get her something nice. And she talked about how she doesn't want nothing used, want something new, and to feel special. You know what I'm saying? So, with a bunch of suggestions, Rock to try to make her feel special. He bought her a dress. Well, no, first he tells her all the suggestions that people got. Joey had like a violinist, the dad a pony. Charmaine, who works at the club called Charmaine, told him to get like a male stripper. And then somebody suggested going to New York, getting a hotel and taking the sights. He decides he's gonna buy her a dress. And she's all like, what's so special about a dress? And he tells her it's not used. And so she's ecstatic because, you know, she's never had anything from Rock that wasn't used. Cause he only buy things that are on sale or discounted or used or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so she's all happy and excited. She gets hot and bothered and then talking about how he gonna get himself some. But then she looks at the price tag. That dress costs over $1,000. She is furious. Talking about $1,000 on a dress. And so he's like, but it ain't used. And she's like, she don't care. And then she goes upstairs and then she screams. All of a sudden, a violinist comes down. He went all out. He went all out. He got the violinist. He got the pony. The dad's all like, I was going to get a black pony, but I decided to get a white one because I didn't want to get political or something like that. And then to top it all, and then they put her on the pony. She still is not happy. And then to top it all off, somebody got her a plane ticket to New York so they can take in the sights. And she wants to know how much all this costs. He said over $2,000. She's even more furious, talking about how this is a third of their savings for a down payment that they had on that house. And Rock's like, but I did it for you and everything. She don't care. But then she starts laughing kind of crazy like. And because she realizes it's going to cost him, well, it's going to take him a long time to reclaim that $2,000, you know, being a trash man and stuff. And so eventually they reconcile, they kiss, but she wants her male stripper too. And he's all like, well, you got him right here, which is just him. I swear, man, this was like a really down-to-earth, feel-good type of show. And, you know, then at some point they wanted to make it more of a family-oriented show. So they brought in, well, Eleanor ends up getting pregnant. Then they end up bringing in a little girl. I don't know who this little girl is. I forget. I don't know if they adopt her or what. But yeah, this is like one of those classic black comedy shows that are just forgotten. And it's quite a shame because it's a really good show. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.